Hello, beautiful beloveds. This is Stephanie Parasha, Divine Light, coming to you from Aotearoa, New Zealand. I'm recording this video message outside, so if you hear some noises, it's actually early morning here. So the birds are just getting excited and waking up, and so you hear quite a few bird noises and maybe other outside noises. Apologies for my voice. It might sound a bit funny because I'm just getting over a flu. Thank you very much to all of you who put some lovely comments and happy birthday wishes on my last video. I really appreciate that support, and it just feels really nice to be surrounded by people that appreciate you. And oh, hello, see there, whenever I say something that's important, the geese have to say something about it. So and the geese actually, funnily enough, the geese at the moment are there's a couple. There's a Goosey and Lucy, and they're actually part of my twin flame journey too. There's a little story connected to them in my twin flame, and they've just laid an egg. The Lucy has laid an egg, so Goosey is acting very he's on guard, so he's every now and then lets off a little noise to make sure that nobody comes near her while she's sitting on her egg. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about was something amazing that I think all of us may have felt the last couple of weeks. Huge energy shifts, the eclipse, obviously, just all sorts of things going on in the universe where things are being, very powerful shifts happening, and many people have noted in themselves. They've just huge changes that have been coming up. For me, that's been very, very relevant. I've made two big changes in my life in terms of what I'm doing. One of the big changes is that I've booked a ticket overseas, so I'm going to be travelling out of New Zealand on the February, and I'll tell you more about that as the time gets closer into where I'm actually going to be going, and I'm really, really excited about that. So so what I wanted to talk about was a new sort of, I guess you could call it a stage, even though some people don't like to stick to rules around when stages happen and along the twin flame journey, but I have felt within myself, and I can only talk about my journey and my experience and what I'm going through. And as I'm talking about my experience and what I'm going through, I know and feel that many of us are going through this at the same time. That's why I do these videos, because I know that when I share my experience with you, it resonates, and you then realise you're not alone. You're not going crazy, that we have that support for each other and confirmation that we're on the right path. So that's why I share these messages. So what has been happening due to the stage, which many have called either separation or runner chaser, which I call preparation, whereby we may have met our twin, and then because of the intensity of the energies of us coming together, we realised that we'd both picked up on quite a lot of through our own upbringing and through living in the third dimension, a lot of unhealthy habits and behaviours and thoughts and beliefs that were not conducive to a relationship template based on unconditional love. So many of us have been working very, very hard on releasing all of our unhealthy patterns and behaviours, healing our childhood wounds, clearing up, cleaning up, and resetting our energy so that our energy comes from that place of true unconditional love, not just the unconditional love we thought we had in our minds, but through our whole system. So our whole system is running as, and I guess we get to a certain point, those of us, or our twin gets to a certain point where we can then come closer. We can start coming closer, and without any of these flare-ups or triggers or the need to have to go and reset ourselves or heal through karmic relationships. So a lot of this, and many are speaking about it, a lot of these karmic relationships are now coming to an end. We have learnt most of the lessons that we're needing to learn on this part of the journey, and that has enabled for many either a coming into a union, or at least, if not coming into full union, coming closer. So what I got shown was that it's this really cool new stage that we're going into, and we are now done with the runner and chaser. We no longer have to experience that dynamic anymore. Nobody's running, nobody's chasing. We're actually now just quietly walking. Okay, so what we're doing is there's no longer a sense of desperation, of neediness, or of fear and running. Now it's like, okay, well, what is this? What is happening here? Maybe the chaser is maybe a little bit more open. Like, okay, because they may have done some of their work, or they've now repeated again for the second or third time the same relationship, and they've realised that's not working for me. They've got this other person in front of them that maybe if they're half awake, not quite sure whether it's the right person or not, but they're kind of feeling, well, it can't be that bad. Shall we just give it a go? And then the chaser is now no longer desperate, no longer running, and no longer got that energy around them that is kind of scary for a runner, to have this kind of person coming at them waving this twin flag flame saying, well, you're a twin flame and we're going to be together forever. And they're like, what? And and so now the chasers have let go of that requirement, and they have done so much work on themselves, so they're no longer needing to fulfill that big gap that was in themselves, that's now been filled through their own self-love. And so it's sitting in a place of much more contentment and relaxation and calm and trust and surrender, which is way more attractive to a runner. And now that runner feels that energy shift and wants to, and there's now the sort of not that push-pull situation. It's more of a, okay, the magnet, let's just think when the magnets have got a really strong energy on them, that's a polarity, they will, I'm not sure if I've got that exactly right. If they're the same, sorry, they will have that opposite magnetic, where they just cannot come together. The magnetic pushes them away. So now you're sort of a little bit more neutralised, and you can actually sit together in the same room. So let's say if you've got two magnets that are neutralised, they don't pull together like a magnet, they can just sit there happily together, and they can hang out together without any kind of magnetics happening. So that's kind of what I feel is happening. And so this, I got shown the image of two twin flames who used to be a runner and chaser, kind of agreeing to meet at like a park somewhere, and just sitting together quietly on a park bench and just talking and having this really cool, easy, nice, relaxing, peaceful conversation without all the energetics running and all the like craziness. And then, they just walk off, maybe hand in hand, or even not hand in hand. They just go off on a lovely walk together around that park, and it's just a beautiful scene of peace and calm and relaxation. And so I'm going to call this next stage the walkers. So we're finished with runner and chaser, and now we're walking. We're walking together peacefully alongside each other, and it's at a slow pace. So that walking is a slow pace. The running and the chasing is fast. It's like intense. It's like, I need you and I need you now, and it has to happen, and there's no patience in running. There's just or chasing, there's like scariness and fear involved, and there's so this is all about, there's no fear here. The fear is it might, or if it does come up, it's little, it's small, and it's manageable. It's like, and it may be even that you can even talk about it together in a way that's not going to scare each other. And I'm not saying, for some of us, the coming together in union still feels big. It still feels like a big thing that may still take a little time. And again, this is part of a preparation phase, but it's kind of like phase 2 of the preparation. So I would say moving into phase 2 of preparation, which is coming together, spending time together, doing things that are not, that we both enjoy, but that doesn't have any pressure on it, that doesn't have a time pressure on it, and then after you've spent that time together, there's no pressure to continue to stay together. You then go off and continue on to do the things you need to do in your life, and then you come together again when the time is right, without, for those chasers, that involves a lot of just, oh no, see you next time, and not like, oh, when am I going to see you again, and am I going to text you in between, and does this mean we're in a relationship now, and none of that. We're just just saying happy to see each other when we see each other, happy to hang out when we hang out, knowing that those times when we do hang out are heaven sent and very synchronistic and very timely and very destined and very sacred, but we don't get all hung up about it. We don't, we just allow the moment. We're present in the moment. We're conscious with ourselves. We're conscious with our twin. We hold space. We hold that space of calm, peace and harmony in ourselves, self-love in ourselves. And then if we, so feel to extend that energy towards our twin, in a way that's going to be different. Because again, even if we're thinking, the ideal is that we come into, maybe it sounds a little bit old school and traditional, but, personally in my past, whenever I've been in a relationship, I've often rushed into it and had intimacy and sexual relationship really soon on, and I haven't taken the time to really get to know that person. And I feel like with the twin, and I think I've talked about this in a really early on video that I posted, and I feel like especially with this one with my twin, there's a lot of work to be done first in terms of getting to know each other on so many levels energetically first before we can actually come into a physical union, because otherwise we can easily make the mistake of transposing third-dimensional sexual relationship styles onto our union, and our union is so different. It's just going to be so different than what we've ever had before. And those that are already in union or have been in union for some time may notice a shift even in their relationships and the way that they're interacting as we release all of those old templates. And I can see all of those old templates just falling away and crumbling so fast, and that's why things are changing so quickly, because the energy's shifting so quickly. So as we do these energy updates, next week it's going to be something different. So that's what I want to talk about today. There were a few other little things that have sort of come up during the week, then some themes that are sort of running. I could just touch on those very, very quickly, but not going to go into those in a great deal of depth. One is that continuing to cultivate alongside, the walker phase that we're now in. Alongside that, we're going to be really continuing to practice to cultivate what it means to be love. Like we use that concept, be love, but to really understand and to be that love, to really think about that a little bit more, to cultivate that a little bit more, to be more conscious about what that really means to be love in that moment. So Twin Flames working on that as a key theme throughout the week. The other theme to be aware of is noticing where there are extreme polarities happening in the world. So that's as we are shifting our timelines, there's a lot of people that want to hang on to their extremes, and the extremes on either end are not healthy, and have come with them. Even though one extreme might think that they're the ones that are right, the other extreme also thinks that they're the ones that are right. Well, there's a whole lot of group of people in the middle that just wanting to create a balance which is based on the principles of basically love. And it's a really simple concept. So whenever you're feeling that people are getting out of sort of range from the balance, then just come back into that balance again and find the truth and find the trust, find the resonance in your heart where it's peace and calm. If somebody's talking to you about something that doesn't feel like peace and calm, they're probably out of balance and have gone into a polarity. So stick with that. The other thing is, I think I might have forgotten what the other couple things were. So I think that's pretty much really all I've kind of got coming through right now. So I will just leave it there, and hope that this message has really helped, and I hope you enjoy those group of us that are travelling together, the pod of Twin Flames that are in the wave where we've hopefully now turned a corner and we are now walking hand in hand with our Twin Flames, coming closer together very slowly, walking in the park together. So I hope you're going to enjoy this new time that we've shifted into, and sending you out lots and lots of love and light for your journey. And I'll catch up with you all very soon. Bye for now.